hear one of us say, God is good. You guys say all the time. So God is good. All the time. And then I say all the time, and you guys say God is good. So all the time? God is good. Let's try that again. So God is good. All the time. And all the time. God is good. Cool. But I'm Katrina, like the hurricane. The other coordinator, his name's Elgin. But welcome, guys. I'm excited to have you all here. So this is what's going to happen today. We're going to get to know everyone at our groups. Elgin and I are going to go over rules and expectations because as a program, we do have rules. And then we're going to go on break. Your parents are going to come in for while we're at break, and they'll have break with you guys. And then we'll be talking about choices, and then we will leave for Mass. If you guys have not gone to Mass already, the church is right across there, and Mass starts at 6 p.m. We hope to end around 5:45. We're going to do opening prayer. So, just as an intro, whenever we pray, we're calling God's presence. God's already here, but we're just reminding ourselves that we're in His presence. And so because of that, we are a little more reverent than usual. So we're going to ask that you guys take off any hoodies, any hats. We are focused on God today. We're focused on our faith community, and we're not thinking right now about school and homework and chores and whatever else you have waiting for you at home. Let's take another breath in, and let's exhale all of our stress, all of our worries. And let's remember that we are in the presence of our loving Father. And let us begin as we begin all things in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for bringing us here today to begin the new confirmation year. We thank you for bringing the candidates, parents, and leaders here safely to learn more about you and be in your presence. We ask that you fill this space with your grace and your wisdom today. Be with the candidates as they start their confirmation journey to become closer to you. Be with the leaders as we welcome these new candidates into our family. May our words be your words, and may our actions be your actions. And lastly, please be with the parents today as they learn how to be beacons of your light to these candidates on their faith journey. We ask this in your holy name. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We're going to watch this video real fast.
Hashtag oatmeal raisin, hashtag show me the cookie.
Hashtag don't let us adult. Pretty good. Hashtag get my cookie on. Hashtag I'm the real cookie monster. Hashtag delicious, right? Hashtag I'm the real cookie. Hashtag LOL. Hashtag classic. By the way, did you catch last week's episode of Duck Dynasty? Hashtag quack quack. No, maybe I must have been watching Netflix. Hashtag Orange is the New Black. Oh, nice. I've been watching a lot of Barney the Dinosaur. Hashtag Purple is the New Black. Hashtag I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. Hashtag I'm 38. Hashtag dinosaurs. Hashtag Tell me what to think. Hashtag media. Hashtag Ice Age.
Hashtag speaking of Ice Age, I just watched Ice Age on demand the other day. Hashtag funny, hashtag Ray Romano, hashtag Deborah!
By the way, how are we delayed a month away? I mean, do you know what you're gonna be in? Hashtag life decisions. Hashtag sexy ghost. I think we're going to memes with Hashtag gotta be right here. Hashtag you know suck. Hashtag the turtle monkey. Tell me when I'm sucks. Hashtag Mona Lisa. Hashtag is she smiling? Hashtag speaking of smiling, I just saw my dentist. Hashtag green. Hashtag dental care. Hashtag gotta be free. Hashtag that's how we do. Hashtag we go hard.
Hashtag we can't stop.
We won't stop.
Hashtag we run this.
Hashtag true plans for life.
Hashtag is it worth it? Oh, let me work. Yeah.
Hashtag put my thing down, flip it, then reverse it.
What we're going to show on the screen is what is going to go onto our name tags. So like we mentioned earlier, first and last name and or nickname in parentheses underneath, right in the middle. On the corner, let's start with the top left. So this is going to be your hashtag. Please keep it appropriate, but hashtag on the top left corner, guilty pleasure on the top right. So if you like watching SpongeBob or singing in the shower or listening to Britney Spears, eating chocolate, whatever you feel called for a guilty pleasure. Bottom left corner is your high school grade, high school and grade level. Gosh, it's been so long since I went to high school. And last but not least, on the bottom right corner, we're going to ask you where you at on your faith journey. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, I'm not really into like faith at all, and 10 being like, let's go, this is like the best thing ever. And then, yeah, leaders, you'll be able to take it away from here. Enjoy. Next, we're going to talk about our rules and expectations. Because just like in school, we ourselves have rules and expectations for you guys as well. So next up, we're going to teach you guys our rules, our community rules. Just to make it nice and simple, the acronym for it, acronym acronym is those letters on the side. But the acronym for it would be RAPS. R is for respect, A is for attention and attitude, P is for participation and pastoral care, and S is for safety. For respect, we want to make sure that there's a respect for others. So the people around you at your tables, parents and families that come through, and the leaders here as well. They're giving freely of their Sundays just to be here for you guys so that you guys could go through your confirmation. So for respecting others, respectful language, no name calling, hitting. For ourselves, making sure that we wear modest attire. Guys, if I see your guys' boxers, your pants need to come up. Girls, it's a longer list, but please be appropriate. And then for respecting our environment, just making sure we clean up after ourselves. Please be on time for session. It's kind of like, if you guys go to like surprise parties and like you're that person that comes in so late that you ruin the surprise, don't ruin the surprise because we're here freely on our Sunday, so please be respectful for our time. And communication is huge. So contact us if you're going to be absent or late, and it has to be like an excused absence, just like in school. And last but not least, we ask that you guys respect us by listening. Your ears give us joy because if we know that you're actually listening to us, it just makes sure that we're being heard.
Okay, next is A, and it's attention and attitude. So this is giving attention to whoever has the floor. A lot of you guys are like, good right now, you're giving us eye contact, we appreciate that. But also when you're sharing in small groups, that's whoever is sharing their story, whoever is talking, it might not be easy for them to share something so personal or to share their opinions or ideas. So we just ask that you guys give attention to whoever is speaking at the moment. Avoid distraction. So this is like side chatter. Again, so whoever has the floor, let's go ahead and give them our full attention. Let's not talk on the side. No side comments. This also means no cell phones. So cell phones are not allowed at sessions. If you are expecting like an emergency call, like if your sister is gonna go into labor or something, go ahead and let your small group leader know, like, hey, I'm supposed to be expecting an important call today, and then your leader will work it out with you. But other than that, we have a 0 cell phone policy. And then positive attitude too. Like, we're excited that you guys are here. Our leaders volunteer freely of their time to come here just because they love God and they love the program so much. And they want you guys to have as great of an experience as they had. So let's give it to them. Let's give a good attitude and like participate, which goes into the next one. But let's like participate when they ask us to, and just like keep an open mind.
All right. So for the next portion, P, participation and pastoral care. So you get out what you get. You get out of this what you can put. Whoa, words. You get out of this what you put in. So if you're going to give like your 100%, then we're going to give you our 100%, and that's what you're going to get out of the program. If you're going to go into this with like no participation whatsoever, then that's pretty much what you get out of it as well. Also, be empathetic and caring of your leaders and fellow candidates because we all have our stories. Just being respectful. Earlier we said respecting by listening. If someone's sharing, like they're opening up their hearts, they're sharing their stories with you, make sure you show them that respect. Avoid judging, negative comments. We want to make an environment that's like here for you guys. Whatever is shared in this community would stay with us within this community. We want to make sure we show our respect. Just because you hear someone's story about their sibling, like doesn't mean you have to share it with the world. Doesn't mean you have to post it on social media. So being respectful.
And then the last one is safety. That means not leaving the facilities unless it's communicated. So like if you have to meet your parent outside, or even if you have to go to the bathroom to step out like away from your group, that is something that needs to be communicated to your small group leaders. If you need to leave early from session, that doesn't fly. If you just come to session, you're like, oh, I have to leave early today. If you have to leave early, that needs to be communicated to us ahead of time, even if it's like the night before. But you guys can email us or text us or call us or whatever, and just let us know. Just not the day of. This is also voicing if you feel uncomfortable. We'll be going over a lot of different topics throughout the year. If anything ever makes you feel uncomfortable or if you need to step outside, that's okay. So if you ever need to take a step outside, just go ahead and tell a leader, and they'll either accompany you outside or they'll let you get like the air that you need.
Oh, purpley.
So if I'm red and Elgin's No excessive physical contact. So now we're going to go over the candidate expectations. So if you go here to St. Lawrence for Mass, Saturdays it's at 5 p.m., Sundays it's 8, 12, 10, 12, 1:30, and 6. If you go here, you can, at the back of the church by the baptismal font on either side of the church, there's binders. And you guys are going to find the high school confirmation binder. You're going to open it, you're going to find your name, and you're going to sign it to show that you came to Mass. If you don't go to St. Lawrence, or even if you're traveling and you have to go to a different church, you're going to take the bulletin and you're going to ask the priest that said Mass to just sign it at the top. And then you're going to write your first and last name and then just turn it in to us at the next session. Okay, next, attending sessions. So, candidates, you're required to attend all of our sessions here at St. Lawrence, but we do understand that life happens, emergencies or like if you get sick or whatever. So you are allowed to miss 2, and only 2 of these sessions. If you miss any other sessions and you don't make them up, then that's missing one of the requirements, and when it gets down to it, we won't be able to have you confirmed at the end of the year. So if you want to make up the session, we have a YouTube channel thing, and we'll be uploading the sessions, and then so you guys will watch the session at home, and then on that YouTube video, there's a link that will bring you to a worksheet. So you're going to be filling out that worksheet along with watching the video, and then you just submit the worksheet. You can't just, for lack of a better term, you can't just BS the answers because you have to get a certain score in order for it to count.
So, for our program, it is mandatory that you guys attend our weekend-long retreat, and this would be in February. So if you don't make it to our retreat, you have to either find yourselves your own, like another church's weekend-long retreat. It has to be weekend-long, or you don't get confirmed, and that's what this whole thing is about. So, making sure that you attend our retreat, which would be on Friday, February 14th to Sunday, February 16th.
So the way that works is there will be a bus here at St. Lawrence that leaves at 3:30 p.m. on Friday. You have to be here before that bus leaves because the bus is going to leave with or without you. So just please communicate to us if you are going to be late on that Friday. Okay, and then Saint SA. So you guys are going to get to choose a name. You choose a saint, any saint, who you look up to, or who's a role model, or who speaks to your values. And that saint name is what you're going to be confirmed with. So that is due on December 15th. You guys also have service hours, 15 service hours that are due at the end of this year. March 29, actually. They're due on March 29. And for the service hours, it's 10 service hours anywhere else. So if you have to do service hours for school, that's fine. You can overlap that. You can double dip and use it for both. But 5 of those service hours have to be done here. So whether it's like you altar serve at St. Lawrence, if you do anything for Mass, you altar serve, sing in the choir, that counts for 30 minutes per Mass. Or we have like bake sales, we have jewelry sales, we have fundraising opportunities. So if you guys sign up for those, then you'll get service hours here at St. Lawrence. The Saint SA is due December 15th. For every week that you turn that in late, you have to do another service hour. So if you turn in your Saint SA 2 weeks late, you have to do 17 service hours.
For letter to the pastor, this is going to be due on March 29th. If it's late for every week, you get how many hours of service hours added? 1 hour added to every week that it's late.
And then you guys will be choosing a sponsor. So this sponsor is supposed to be someone to walk through your faith journey with you, a role model who is already well established into our faith. We will be going over the sponsor qualifications later in the session because there's a lot and we have to get into them. But sponsor registration, it's on a link that is in the handbook and your parents have it, but it's also at the bottom of our emails whenever we send out an email. Sponsor registration is due November 24th.
So this next part, we're going to start off the second half with a small group discussion. So leaders are going to talk about, or are going to lead the discussion, and it's going to talk about what brought you here today, what are your expectations, what are your concerns, and what do you guys look most forward to. So leaders, from here, take it away. So the next portion that we're going to go on for is choosing a sponsor. Oh my, what is a sponsor? Like some cultures also call them like godparents. So these would be your godparents for your confirmation. Take note that this says choosing a sponsor, not sponsors, because Father Ernesto is reiterating this year that we're only allowing one sponsor per candidate. So for qualifications for a sponsor, they have to be at least 16 years of age. How old? 16. Wow, you guys are still listening. That's awesome. They must be fully initiated into the Catholic faith, so they must have received baptism, first Eucharist, and confirmation. We will check documents to make sure that your sponsor is actually able to be your sponsor. So the way that works is online, they have to fill out a sponsor form, and then we have a sponsor verification form that is in your parents' blue folders. They must be a practicing Catholic. As a practicing Catholic, they have to be going to church regularly. They must be practicing in their faith. They pray, they go to reconciliation. And the last one here is they cannot be living out of wedlock. So if your sponsor has a partner and they're not married in the Catholic Church, then they cannot be your sponsor.
So in your small groups, you're going to talk about what traits you would like in a sponsor, if you guys have anyone in mind and why you have that person in mind. And then leaders, if your candidates are having trouble, you can share your sponsor experience as well, and how you chose them and how they have helped you throughout your faith journey, or not. Small group leaders, take it away. So, speaking of choosing a sponsor, our next portion in this session is talking about choices. So we make hundreds of decisions each week, anywhere from choosing to brush your teeth, to choosing to doing your homework for another class in another class. And so decisions kind of define who we are. They define our character. There's not one other person in this world that made every exact decision, every exact choice the same as you did. And our choices build on each other. So a series of good choices can lead to a good life, a fruitful life, and a series of bad choices can lead you towards a darker path in life. God forgives us when we make mistakes and when we make bad decisions, because just because you've made a couple or a few bad decisions does not make you a bad person. Jesus doesn't hate the sinner, he hates the sin. And so God calls us to rebel against a culture that defines success by power, by money, and by fame. We hear a lot in music videos or movies or songs that people idolize power, money, and fame. And so our faith calls us to do the opposite. Our faith calls us to be humble. God has the power to control us, but he didn't want that. He didn't want this perfect world. He wanted to give us the gift of free will, and that's where we started with Adam and Eve, right? God didn't want them to eat of the forbidden fruit from the tree, but they chose to anyways, because they had the choice, they had free will. With our free will, because we have the ability to make good and bad choices, God gave us a little helper. It's our conscience, it's the voice inside of our head.
So we're going to end up watching another clip with the Emperor's New Groove.
For those of you who haven't watched The Emperor's New Groove, this guy, peeking in the corner, his name's Kronk, he is watching the unconscious body of the Emperor, who was kind of a jerk, float towards a very big waterfall, and the unconscious body is about to fall and plummet to the Emperor's death. And so Kronk is dealing with the situation of, do I save the Emperor or do I not save the Emperor? So we're going to stop it right there. But as depicted in the clip, your conscience is usually shown in videos or in movies as a devil and a shoulder on your right and left has a devil and an angel on your right and left shoulder. There you go. In reality, your conscience is like that inner voice that kind of gets annoying sometimes that goes, I don't think you should do that, when you're about to make a bad decision. God speaks to us through our conscience. God is telling us, is giving us that gut feeling about when we're about to do something wrong. He like makes it twist a little bit and he's like, do you really want to do that? I mean, all power to you. You have the capability of doing that. But do you really want to do that? Our conscience gives us a hint of what's right and what's wrong, but ultimately it's our choice. It's our decision about what we want to do. And sometimes we fail, sometimes we don't listen to it, sometimes we tell our conscience, okay, shut up, like I'm gonna do it anyways. Other times we listen to our conscience and we're like, actually, yeah, you're right, like I guess I'll do the right thing here. Choices have consequences. Whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence, there's ultimately an outcome to each of your choices. So like, if you didn't choose to brush your teeth this morning, your consequence is you're gonna have icky breath for the rest of the day. Our surroundings can pressure you also. So just as your conscience is kind of tugging you to do the right thing, the people we surround ourselves with or the things we watch or the music we listen to can also pressure us to do the wrong thing or the right thing, depending on what you're watching, listening to. When we make bad decisions, at least we have the opportunity to learn from them. God is always ready to forgive us. So just because you make one bad decision, that does not define you for the rest of your life. If you're repentant about the bad decision that you made and you're sorry and you come to God, He'll forgive you. And He does not believe that each of our bad decisions defines who we are. Because we're all children of God. We're going to go into another small group discussion, and you're going to share a time when you listened or didn't listen to your conscience, even though it was difficult. And then did you end up regretting your decision? So, small group leaders, take it away.
We're going to go to the best way to live and being a rebel. So the best way to live, virtue is the best way for everyone to live. Like we always hear, like live a life of virtue, but like what's virtue, right? But virtues are just like traits that we should have. So traits such as patience, generosity, courage, humility, and honesty. The person should have self-control to do what is good and what is right, even when it's difficult or it comes at a great personal cost. Because that just shows a bunch of respect for yourself. Your peers will invite you to like, hey, let's go ditch fifth period. Hey, let's go, have you tried this? Have you like smoked before? Try it out, it's not too bad, it's actually pretty cool. Or if you want to drink, let's go drink. Like there's so many things that society like set us up with that like could set us up for failure. And that's not what God wants for us. What that leads us to is another small group discussion. And this is going to we're going to have another small group discussion talking about things in society that what are some things that society promotes that encourages us to make bad decisions, as well as what are some things that you feel, that you might feel pressured to do because of your peers. So small group leaders, the floor is yours, and candidates, take it away.
So we're going to move on. So, our conscience, going back to a couple sections before, we're talking about our conscience, the voice that tells us right from wrong. But how does our conscience know what's right and what's wrong? From like when we're super little up until when we're older, we're constantly forming our conscience by the decisions that we make. So if we continuously make bad decisions, our conscience is going to be used to making bad decisions. The voice might not be as persistent. The voice telling us that's not a good idea might not be as loud. But if we constantly make good decisions, our conscience will be used to making good decisions. And so it'll be more apparent to us when we're making a bad decision that it is a bad decision. But Elgin and I are going to go down this list and we're going to go into depth about how we can help form our conscience. So the first one up here is scripture, and that's basically to study, pray, and practice scriptures in our daily lives.
Then the next bullet point says Eucharist. So making sure that we receive the Eucharist. How many of us have already gone through First Communion? That's the majority of us. So receiving the Eucharist is on Sunday. So the love of God and that communion with Him strengthens our desire to seek truth and act in a moral way. Knowing throughout the week that we receive God in our lives, makes it that much more important, so that we could watch what we're doing with our body, watching what we're doing with our words, our actions, as well as what we're putting into it. If we're consuming junk food, alcohol, we get to figure out what's working to make yourself that much better.
So before the sacrament of reconciliation, or before any time that you do confession, we do this thing called examination of conscience. And that's usually where someone will ask a series of questions, whether it's about the 10 Commandments or just your daily life. They'll ask, have I said God's name in vain? Have I disobeyed my parents? Have I killed someone's spirit? Have I stolen from someone? Examining your conscience is a way for you to just keep in touch with your conscience and see what decisions you're making that affect your overall being, that affect your spirit, and that affect your relationship with God.
And then when you take all that into account, that's when you get to go to reconciliation, to go to confession. And being able to talk to the priest is just interceding for God. He's helping you communicate with God so that you can lift it up. And that's when you get to lift the stress off your shoulders, what's bearing you down in your hearts, and what's holding you back from being the best version of yourself.
And then the next bullet point is praying. I have a little clip to go along with it. So we do this thing called praise and worship, and it's this spiritual nourishment. And so we did it with our leaders this summer, and this clip, I'm going to show you a portion of it, is from our leader praise and worship session. That was with Anna Brown. She's our music director here at St. Lawrence. She comes and helps us out with sessions sometimes. Her point was that you can't just do 50 jumping jacks and then expect to be strong. You can't just do 50 mountain climbers and expect to move a car, right? In order to get stronger, you need to continuously go to the gym, do your focus areas. I'm not great at the gym. The same applies to our faith life. So you can't just pray one day and expect to go to heaven. You have to pray continuously. You have to develop that relationship with God. It's not just a one-time thing. So by praying continuously, you're able to also form your conscience, because you're informing your conscience that this is God, this is who I'm talking to, this is who we need to get to know.
For the next part is to find out what our church teaches. Just like you guys go to school, you're required to go K through 12, right? So you have to find out what our Catholic faith is all about. So reference to what we learn in confirmation, Sunday school, classes that we've gone to, and just educating ourselves on what the church says and why, so that we can live our faith without questioning why we do something, and otherwise we're just going through it blindly. So then you would pay attention to the little decisions. We were talking earlier that life is choices, and that all these little choices all add up. Regardless if it's not brushing your teeth, and eventually you get cavities, and eventually you get gingivitis, it all adds up in the long run. All these little things add up, and we want to make sure that we're forming the right habits.
Next is paying attention to your environment. So I have another clip to go with this. How many of you have seen Friends, the sitcom, the TV show? Oh, okay. I'm dating myself now. I'm just going to play the clip, and then I'll explain what's going on. In that example, the two girls are Phoebe and Rachel, and then the guy's name is Chandler. So Chandler knew that he was right, that he shouldn't go looking for the Christmas presents because it's not Christmas. And because their friend Monica put so much time and effort into shopping for gifts that would mean a lot to them. but he let his friends, Rachel and Phoebe, talk him into doing what he knew wasn't right. He let them peer pressure him into doing what he knew wasn't right, and he went to go look for the presents with them. So that's paying attention to your environment, paying attention to who you surround yourself with, what you surround yourself with, and how do you let those people and those things influence you and your decisions.
To piggyback off like influences, looking for role models. That's the last one. Yeah, so looking for the right role models. Looking for people who live virtuous lives and people that can help you down the right path. Jesus is a good one to start, and then maybe your guys' sponsors.
So the next time that we see you guys is October 6th, which is next Sunday. Hold on, don't pack up yet. And so your parents have to, or you, have to sign up on a link in order to sign up for a slot. And so the way that's gonna work is you guys are gonna sign up for like a 30-minute slot. And then on October 6th, you're gonna come during that slot, and then one of the leaders is gonna interview you. And then that's your chance to tell us if you have any special circumstances at home, if you have any concerns about this year, or just tell us how we can help you guys learn better, how we can make this experience more personalized to you guys. Thank you guys for coming, and we look forward to the rest of this year with you guys. We appreciate you guys coming. Thanks, guys.
Oh, yeah, please